Ms. Skog, if I pronounced that correctly, a journalist from Oakley, and then Mr. Gardner, and after that, Ms. Berrigan-Faria. Yes.
Hi, it's Connie.
How did I mispronounce it?
It's Skog. It's Swedish for
okay.
Forest, I think. Yeah. So I'm here in the woods, in the forest with you guys in the trees. I'd like to say that my comments are not about the entire Delta Plan. What I'm particularly concerned with is Chapter 3, and on this handout that you gave, I guess, number 8 says successfully completing the Bay Delta Conservation Plan, that's part of Chapter 3 in the Delta plan that you're going to be voting on today. And you've never seen my face, and I can see that there's a lot's been going on here without me, although I've been watching, and I appreciate Ms. Gray constantly saying, well, we want to listen to what people have to say, and I hope you've been listening to people, everybody. I think you are probably all really good people, and I think that you'd like to think you're going to do the right thing, and that prosperity or people, your grandchildren's children or whatever, will look back on what things that you've decided, important things you've decided, were good things. But we've talked quite a bit about history today. A lot of people have brought it up. And I kept seeing the words in the EIR saying new reliable water supply, that the adverse effects are coming from this new reliable water supply, that's part of what is bringing these adverse effects on that they had to mitigate. And I was thinking, what's new about this water supply? And I think that enough people have talked about how it's not new and how you're not really creating anything, you're simply redirecting something, that I don't have to talk about that. But I think we should think about a few things that have happened in our history. Someone on your panel mentioned New Orleans, and actually I think most of what happened in New Orleans was the levees broken. But there's not a great deal of money going toward restoring the levees in what the Bay and Delta Conservation Plan wants to do. And it seems like the levees are one of the most important parts. And then there's, just to bring in something that I can't help but bring in, there was another leader in our past, our recent past, who was obsessed with unfinished business, and that was George Bush. And he decided that he was going to push through a war in Iraq, and we all said we didn't want to, well, I didn't say this, but a lot of people said, well, I guess we've got to just go for it, or I'll not be a good, a good patriot. And I think that our governor has got the same kind of obsession with an unfinished business, and that includes the big tunnels. And the tunnels are, of course, a big part of the Bay and Delta Conservation Plan. And I think those, if you think about them, I mean, I travel a lot. I've never heard of any other place, maybe you can enlighten me, that's going to bury 2 40-foot conveyances for water going right through an estuary, right through, wildlife, and hope and pray that it'll all turn out okay. There's something else that's recent history that we might look at, and that would be another public works project. It was the largest west of the Mississippi, and that was the Bay Bridge. And it's come in way over budget. It's not on time. Their primary goal was to have a bridge that would withstand earthquakes, and apparently now they don't have that. So I'm wondering how you can sit here and vote for something that I don't believe anyone has ever done. Maybe they have in the world, but I'd like to hear about it. And that you're going to allow these tunnels to be built under the delta to carry enough water away to completely empty our rivers. I know you might say, well, we'll never do that. Well, you can't say what is there. Build it and it will come. So I'm just hoping that just as we look at things in this beautiful state and say, look at our people in history and say, what were they thinking? How could they have done that? Well, I hope that you find people aren't going to be the subjects of that question in the future. And that's all I have to say.
Thank you very much.